Alright, so we're going to do a quick video on how to sand up a table or old door, turn an old door into a really cool table. So I met some customers that wanted a funky table or a tabletop, roughly these sizes. Have to trim it down a little bit. Got an idea of what they wanted, and a little bit of rustic character to it was going to be suitable. So this turns out perfect. And what made this door perfect, I just went to the Renovators Paradise in Dandenong to find this. But this door is perfect because most doors have indented panels in them. As you can see, this one's flat. It will have some characters, like these sections here will still be indented, but that's just going to add character. At least glasses won't tip on it, and salt shakers, etc. So what we're going to do is quick video of how to do this. Belt sander is your tool, your weapon of choice. So what we're doing first is we've got some pine fillets nailed on the side where the door's been widened at a certain point in time. So what we're going to do is take those off first. Well, actually we're going to take the nails out. So I've chiseled into the side where the nails are, and then we pull them out with some awesome nail pullers, and then we can run a cut down that without the saw blade going through nails. So we're going to do that both sides, and sand it all back and yeah, just get it nice and flat. So pretty much there. Enjoy the show. So we're using a 40 grit sanding belt to rip through the old paint. The problem with trying to sand old paint is the paint sort of balls up and gets stuck in the belt sander, in the sanding belt. So you just have to flick those off. But you can feel it when you're sanding and it's no longer smooth, and you go bop, 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 bop. You can feel something's wrong with it. So just flip it over, clean it off, and you're ready to go again. I've got to stop because it's obviously getting dark and it's also about to rain, so almost there, close enough for what I need. I needed to get to the point where all that was taken off. I can trim the sides and patch that lock hole. But I'll pick it up tomorrow, I think. Alright, back to work on the old door slash new table. So it's just had the rough sand back. Now you can see I've trimmed off these two edges which are on the outside edge here to make it the right width, and also get off these crappy looking pine bits. So they're gone. The table, the table's the right size now. So all I have to do is fill these holes here with timber. So I'm going to cut up some blocks to suit that and glue them in, and then I can finish sand it and get into fine sanding all of these grooves here. And here we go. So we've got the thicknesser over there and a couple of pieces of timber. I almost don't like to demonstrate how to do stuff when I know people won't own one of those, but this table's going to come up good. So here we are the following day, and you can see those
pack of fillets have glued nice and tight there, so all I have to do is chip that off with a chisel and sand them back. So I'll leave about 3 to 5 mil on it and then sand it down to make sure it finishes nice and flush. So today we're going to cut a little piece, glue this, do the same thing here, glue one in there to patch that hole, and then we're going to start cleaning out these areas, which will be slow and tedious, but that's the job. You can see I've had a bit of a play with this one. So you just want to take out, as you can see, it's quite rough in some places, and just want to sand that back and get it nice and smooth so that it looks good. You can see I've sanded and scraped this one a little bit. I'll give it a bit better of a sand with that, but yeah, that's basically what we're going to be doing today. So here we go. Alright, to clean out these grooves here, what we're going to do first is scrape off what we can with a sharp implement, not a chisel, but screwdriver, some sort of a scraper that you can get in there and get most paint flecks off. After you've got most of the loose stuff out, I'm going to go an 80 grit sandpaper, 60 grit sandpaper, followed up by an 80 grit sandpaper. And then these ones I've got 100, 120 and 180 to fine polish the door in the end. But yeah, there's most of these grooves will get fixed up with the 60 and the 80. So here we go. Right, I'm just going to chip off this block here. Now the thing to understand, if you're not a woodworker, you've got to look at your grain. So you can see the lines in the wood here, and the lines are sort of pointing up that way, so it's running on an angle like that. Now if I get my chisel and hit it from here, that's going to run down the grain and leave a big gap down here where it takes out too much wood. So I want to hit it that way, so it runs up the grain and away, and I also want to keep it 2 or 3 mil off the door when I start the chisel, just for safety precautions, because I can sand that up at the end anyway. So we just want to take the bulk of it off. That's good enough. You take a little bit more off if you want to get real nifty with it. The rest is just sand off in 20 seconds. And do the same to the other one. Yeah, sorry about the camera work. Now this one, I think the grain's running the other way, so I'm going to hit it from this side. Again, I'm going to leave, you know, I'm not going to put the chisel straight down there because it's too close. So I'm leaving a 2-3 mil gap, well, 3 mil gap there, and just knock that off there. I won't do this one at the moment because it's still wet, but that's it. Piece of piss. So time to give the door, the underside, a coat of paint. It's not necessary because it's under the table, but as you can see, it's a very rough looking door at the moment. So we want to give it a nice fresh coat of paint on the bottom. I've decided to go with white, so that's going to clean all that up. And then once that's done, we can finish sanding and polishing the top. So here we go. Okay, so this is the underside of the table, 3 coats of paint on it. Now what we're going to do is put a small bevel on there because that's a plywood backing. So we're going to taper it basically so you don't see the plyboard, and it just finishes the difference between the paint and the timber, and that'll be waxed as well. So we're going to clean up the edges and put that bevel on it, and we'll be ready to finish sand the top. So we're doing the finishing of the table, or door table, at the moment, and so fine sanding and just fixing up any little defects sort of thing. So you'll notice obviously, you know, where you've got patched up timbers, that's the same timber, but you know, you're never going to make it look exactly the same. There's staining on the old timber with the old paint sort of thing. So I always don't worry about this too much. It becomes a part of the feature of the door. You've got this section here, it's got a bit of paint showing, it's a little bit lower, so you know, you could keep sanding that, but you know, you're always going to see it, so there's no point. That just becomes a feature. And then you got a couple of end grain patch ups here. They actually came with the door, so it had been amended before this. The lock had been changed, so that was like that when I got it. I've added that, filled in the sides there, had to fill in that one as well. And then you've got little defects like the crack here. We're going to fill that up, that'll be fine. Now down this edge there was a bit of a chunk out of it, so I've just, you know, taken most of it out. It's still there a little bit, but it just leaves a bit of a different edge on the timber, but there's nothing you can do about that sort of thing. One other little point I've got here, you can see here, I've just been sanding it a bit, but there's this little section here, it's the grain is lifting there, so it's actually quite sharp. So I've got to sand that back, and it's going to be a little bit of a dip in this area. But yeah, you've got to get it out because you can't have those sharp bits sort of flaking up. So that's just a part of the rustic door concept, and you've just got to go with whatever you've got and make the best of it. As as you can do. So this is pretty much it. Still got to go over it with the final sand, and I'm just going to sit here and sand that out until it's gone, and then give it another go over with the 120 sandpaper and really smooth it off, and then we'll put some beeswax linseed oil polish on top of that, and we'll be done, which will be good because it's been dragging on for a bit now, so I'll be keen to get this finished. Alright, so we're going to start the wax oil finishing polish. Again, the details on this stuff is 10 grams of beeswax with 50 ml of linseed oil. Now this is a 360 gram thing, so I actually put 40 grams of beeswax with 200 ml of linseed oil, and as you can see, it's quite a sturdy paste. So we're just going to pop that down in here, and you can see how the door's going to come up. So I'm making this up as I go along, to tell you the truth. But there you go, there's the colour coming up, and there's the hole filled. So that'll just set a bit. We'll get some down in there, and then try and rub it out.